喂。哦，这是克总的眼睛呢。
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
哎，这不之前那个房子吗？他们在这睡着了。哎，这边还天还亮。
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
是不是因为我掌握力的问题？OK。
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
他们让我遭受的，好像与布拉德利交谈，与寇尔登交谈，这个吧。
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
哇，感觉在正上面的时候，肯定以为我精神不正常。
Sanders started
尽量选合理一点的解释吧。
convulsing.
Convulsing? That doesn't fit with his history.
Then his body got all crooked.
What in God's name? And you were alone with him?
He accused Sarah Hawkins of being the culprit.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
我每天
But
都是
that
直播
truth may
兄
be
弟。
biased.
什么叫有
We don't know the bottom of it.
你点下订阅呗，又不会怀孕对吧？保持谨慎吧。
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well.
影响我的命。
I'll go to see
我靠，
Francis's
在
widow.
这个关键
Perhaps
性
I'll
分
find a
支。
link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Oh no！ 与桑德斯的遗孀交谈。
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
那我离开这吗？桑德斯住所。对啊，你长时间没有打开熊猫来看，啊，那你不能说我没播，那是你没看，兄弟，你这个逻辑有点乱。
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
这游戏有2个结局以上，
You know each other.
多结局的。
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating France's death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker.
这游戏作为一个新游戏144，
This
我觉
way,
得算
Mr.
便宜的。
Pierce. And do
Well,
make
sometimes.
yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
他就在我眼前尖叫着死去。事情发生的时候，我已经不在那儿。你的反应倒是很平静，直接跟他说实话吧。
He started raving, screaming that a dimensional shambler had found him.
Mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse and twist with pain. Or terror, it's hard to tell.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not really sure of what I saw, or what I didn't see. But it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
你的悲伤与我感同身受，但发生的事与我和无关。真正的罪魁祸首是福勒，送他住院的不是我。福勒，
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me, his own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
有话直说。你是怎么认识莎拉·霍金斯的？就问这个吧。
How did you come to meet Sarah Hawkins?
We were the wealthiest and most influential families on Darkwater. Of course we would know each other. And when Charles returned from Europe with his sweet little artist, she and her sinister paintings were destined to catch my husband's
他这
eye.
袖子
He bought many of her works
跟
over the
穿
last
模有
5
点
years. They adorn his macabre gallery.
有点难受啊。
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
空轨是一个
It is
花
my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
OK， 在哪呢？是不是这个？
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
嗯？把它放进去吧，填一下。
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should
他
have
家里挂的画风的好恐怖，
I
应该好
never
诡
had the
异。
courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids. Each time I shut my eyes.
嗯？偷人在看动
That's
画。
twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
我要为一位买家鉴定这幅画，莎拉·霍金斯所做的另一幅画。我不是来给你惹麻烦，不关你的事。这个
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
你呢？
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
OK， 空轨。这里面放的啥？一把钥匙。走。桑德斯画廊的钥匙。
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing. An old diary.
牧师妻子的日志第3本。在这儿。那么空轨在哪儿呢？
The man transforms an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
他这收藏的画风的好诡异啊！哦，这什么？
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
感觉藏品很多啊，他。好，为什么这东西也让我躲啊？是意味着等一下我要被追杀吗？等一下，是不是这个？这个单独被放在这儿的，应该就是空轨了。果然就是。 通过原来打这个。Oh my god！ 想想
What the hell was that?
得找特定的匕首。Oh no！ 这个吧
Maybe I can use this dagger.
这个过来，痛啊！也不对。
Damn it! This dagger didn't work.
这把喽。哇！我一个强捅啊！捅死就捅死，捅死去球。好吧。 没事，再来。
What the hell was that?
这就是个排除法的游戏啊！把这一段。看一下，主要看有没有跟那个洞里面那个看到那个匕首一样。先看一眼。 这个，哎，这个像不像？不太像。我觉得有可能就是这把，把它给敲了。
Yeah, maybe I can use this dagger.
也不是这把。跳过。啊，来吧，再来。
What the hell was that?
？No。它旁边有些东西，我看一下。 先把这个敲碎，吸引他过来。
Damn! Did it hear that?
然后到这边。我觉得应该是这个。
Maybe I can use this dagger. Damn it!
也不是这个，到底哪一把呀？我靠！
This dagger looks different.
快！可以做这把。
What's the matter with you?
Wow, 他刚差点把自己手给切了，准备。
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
我遭到了一种生物的攻击。这个说实话也不好。
It's nothing. I think I just drank too much.
That goes without saying. If you can't tell the difference between reality and fiction, then you're in real trouble.
你没有听到什么吗？你早就怪我，你肯定注意到我胳膊的情况。这个吧。
I ran, screamed, broke a pane of glass. You were in the next room and you didn't hear a thing.
If I hadn't heard a thing, I'd still be in the other room. The door was blocked. I got in as soon as I could. I like to look after my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
这条信息里面给我提供，我的确应该和这位德里克谈谈。调看一下他。
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I've still got things to settle with Irene.
我感觉妹子在这个过场动画里面不好看，还是实际的那个建模好看。无名书店。事实证明，公鬼并不仅仅是莎拉·霍金斯创造的艺术作品，这是剧情生物童话中冲出像袭击皮尔斯。双胞胎可以啊，恭喜啊！哦
Where's the bookseller?
哦，这个书店有点诡异，调查一下。对，先加还不行。9个技能点，4个技能点到下一级，力量到4级了，现在力量可以不加调查，洞察力、心理学，我把神秘学给加一下吧。哎，这个只能通过周遭加，好吧。60%，洞察力， 这个吧。OK， 等级4。哦，这个也点了等级4了。那就还有3个技能点。口才。上去我们点口才，OK， 完事儿。我知道神学越高，能看到一些正常人更加看不到的东西。
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century. An old diary.
武士七子日第3本，诶，之前不是拿到过第3本，没有拿一个。哦，这啥？解剖学手册第2。你要阅读这本书吗？读。
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
这是个教神秘学的等级吗？果然，我的临时增加了。
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's theosophical movement.
看来这里可以
Its
疯狂找我
followers
的
place truth on the same
仪
footing
式
as
啊
religion.
还拿打火机。掉这个纸是怎么回事？被人踩了一脚。哎，这边是不是有东西？没有。黑水岛的历史。哦，这是加油的地方。哎，对，这边还有东西。哦，没有。好像没得了。哎，这边还有东西。第2层。好像没什么东西可以调查的。这边是不是还没走
？What happened here?
情景重现。
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work.
把窗户砸烂，然后怎么开的？进来这边他踩的，对。
Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably.
然后这边打烂的东西。
This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
哦，没了吗？这边应该是调查不了的。还有哪地方可以调查？这边也调查不了。看一下这边。
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene?
物理学圣剑，那底下好多虫子。
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What killed all these animals?
快调查一下。
What the? Charles Hawkins?
会不会弹飞了？
What's happening to Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
再调查一下，这什么书？我以为他
Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
对，这个解谜游戏。手，接下来这边。
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
OK， 调查完毕。这边藏着个纸
Drake
条。
left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe. 但这有需要密码呀，搜寻一下。 What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet? Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
寻找密码的线索，现在解剖学手册。这密码的线索那就不好了。我靠，这么多线索
Arkham editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham
哇，全
editions.
是他
Arkham
们选集。
editions. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham
Oh
editions.
my god， 这不
Arkham
会全都是的是吧？全册吗？
Never heard. How many volumes are there in this collection?
哎，不对啊，这应该有
Another volume by Arkham editions.
这个是我按顺序阅读吗？我看3、7、8本，8本。
Arkham editions.
第3册。
Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection?
这是第1卷。哎，算了，先不管那个。
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
其他地方好像也没什么线索。
A kind of chalice.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
这边，哎，对，这什么东西？
Another
数
volume
字
by
上没有
Arkham
数字的，
editions.
这什么哪里有数字啊？只要它本身那个
Arkham
每个
editions.
那个序列而已。
Never heard of him.
现在看这个应该没用，先不管它。
The chalice of knowledge.
这上面没什么可值得调查的。这个杯子能旋转1圈，然后没什么线索。哎，等这个象棋，
Things are not looking good.
好吧。克苏鲁可并不算小众，我跟你说，很多作品多少都有去引用和借鉴克苏鲁神话这个体系。很多东西，你直接玩，你并不知道它有的借鉴和引用。等你去了解了克苏鲁神话体系，你才发现哦，原来很多游戏有 这东西出现很多游戏里面，包括这些都很有即视感。什么游戏里面出现过什么角色的名字啊、场景的名字啊、一些系统的设定啊，你就会发现很多作品都是引用和借鉴过的。你觉得小众，只是说你没有特别了解，你了解你就会发现，哦，另外一番世界。不是众所周知，是因为本身科苏鲁神话体系就不是像很多那什么希腊神话呀、北欧神话呀这种有完整的体系，一用的话就用一整套。因为科苏鲁神话本身就比较零散，然后各方面的叙述和表达都比较隐晦、晦涩。
The chalice of knowledge.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the dear friend. I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of
他有
browsing
提
through
到
them.
跟那个我看
And these red drops,
鲜
like
血
precious
点滴
stones,
如同宝
lie
石，
fixed, set in
牢牢镶嵌
divine
在神
gold.
圣之金
To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing
第
through them.
9卷
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in
鲜
divine
红的宝
gold.
石，
To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only
棋盘上的
pieces on
棋
the
子，
chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their
白
dark
棋
soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my
我
apprehension
大概理
grows.
解他的意思了。
We shall refuse to
三
be the
个录音带
playthings
代
of
表三
destiny.
组数字，第三组是9，第一组是红色宝石的数量
The。chalice of knowledge.
数一下，从裂痕开始，1、2、3、4、5，然后白棋的数量，白棋数量在上面是4，那就是549，549，这应该是密码箱的密码。549，每一卷录音带代表的是一个线索。不对，应该是第二个有问题。第二个发现小姐姐的龙虾，现在打不开，这数字不对。是除了白皇后以外的棋子3个，我试下3看呀，不包含白皇后。试下3，果然，那就是539。 这怎么说？难道是传说中的死灵之术吗？